The summer solstice is right around the corner. What are 3 things we need to make sure we leave Gemini season with? Every time there's a new season, we got to make sure we take the gems from the concluding one. All right, let's start with number 1. Mercury, air. What were you heavily critiqued about during Gemini season? All right, look at the house you have Gemini in. If you have Gemini in a fire house, was something dealing with creative expression, self-identity expression in general critiqued? If you have Gemini in an earth house, was something dealing with project building, structure, how you go about structure, stability, and reality in your life critiqued? Air house, who you surround yourself with, right? Water house, how you go about pouring love into yourself or creating an environment for you to be emotionally, mentally stable, right? Gemini deals with the relationships close to home. So these most likely were the first resources, parties, or whatnot that was able to inform us on things before people out at work or people out in the external realm. It was usually that 3rd house relationship energy. So if you were critiqued about anything, especially self-critiques, things that you really want to change about yourself that was heavy on the conscious, take that into consideration going into Cancer season so you could create, birth new habits out of what was heavy on the mind. Secondly, this is going to be big for the air signs and the mutable signs because these are the signs that were most likely impacted the most by a Gemini stellium. So air signs may have dealt with overwhelming relationship activity and mutable signs may have been influenced to participate into a lot of things with other people. So especially for you signs, but this is for everybody, are you participating in anything that you don't want to be a part of right now? This Gemini energy was good for having us make agreements or find ways to participate and include ourselves into things that we really don't want to be committed to, right? All different type of group efforts and, collaborative environments. So don't be wasting nobody time, y'all. This comes into partnerships on all levels, especially in the intimate space. All right, especially when it comes into romantic situations, like, try to get out of a gray area space right now. Keep it white and black with your partnerships and your relationships, okay? And lastly, guys, we have Saturn in Pisces. We just had all this Gemini activity before Venus and Mercury got into Cancer. We just had all this Gemini activity. It had to transit Saturn, right? It had to transit Saturn in a square. So this is why a lot of things dealing with familiar habits and relationships close to home either had to slow up a bit for us to gain a sense of reality on how people's ways of thinking and their actions affect us and create habits and whatnot. So we were doing a lot of cleaning up at home and we were forced to do it. Now, with all these planets the same stellium is about to be in Cancer, Mercury, Venus, and the Sun. And they're eventually going to have to pass Saturn, but through a trine. With all that being said, guys, this season is going to provide huge opportunities for us to tighten up things with connections. And that's anything you're trying to connect to, right? You're trying to build a connection in an intimate, romantic perspective. You're trying to build a deeper connection towards wellness and a regimen, a certain lifestyle in your life. You're trying to build a deeper connection with source. Connection in general, all right? Saturn helps us to become more committed towards things that we want to build and structure. And we have it amongst the water influence. So Saturn in Pisces, stellium in Cancer. So we're going to be able to bring a lot of stability to things close to home. People need to go into things dealing with intimate relationships, intimate environments. You need to go into all situations wanting to resolve things, bring solutions to the table, because Saturn's going to be able to do that. But it's also going to hint out at people, places, and things that take away from us being able to gain emotional and mental stability. That is top priority in Cancer, emotional, mental stability. And through that, we can create, manifest, pour into, connect, motherfucking anything. All right, guys? So during this next 30 days or next 32, 33 days when we get into Cancer season, make sure the things that you become sensitive to or you're realizing person, place, or thing is playing out as a burden in your close proximity, handle that. Because by the time we get to Saturn, clash with Saturn, it's going to be way more intense around that time. All right, family, 3 things to take away from Gemini season. And I hope everybody has an abundant, fruitful entrance into Cancer season. But we're going to have to talk about them full moon and Capricorn energies. But y'all already know the vibes. Make sure y'all notified on YouTube for church service. All right, make sure y'all tap into Patreon where we're hosting Tuesday, Thursday live streams. We're in the middle of the house series. So we're covering everything with fundamentals week by week. All right, family, until then.